It's 7 o'clock, and I'm calling to order the zoning meeting of the Knox County Commission for Monday, November 20th. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lundy. Here. Commissioner Durrett. Here. Commissioner Oster. Here. Commissioner Ward.
Here.
Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Here.
Commissioner Hill.
Here.
Commissioner Lee. Here. Commissioner Beeler.
Here.
Commissioner Daly. Here. Commissioner Jay.
Here.
Commissioner Frazier.
Present.
Thank you. We do have a quorum. Commissioner Law Director Moyers, I'm turning it over to you for swearing in, please.
Anybody who's going to speak before this body tonight on any matter that's on the agenda, if you're an applicant, if you are an opponent to an item that's on the agenda, please stand and raise your right hand. I'm going to swear you in. Is that everybody? All right. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you will give tonight be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Be seated, please. And let me remind you that it is a civil offense to lie under oath to this commission during the course of this meeting, punishable by up to $500 fine.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, the first item, please.
Item number 52, 9-J-23-RZ is a request of Blackman Construction for rezoning from PR planned residential up to 5 dwelling units per acre and A agricultural to PR planned residential up to 6 dwelling units per acre. Property is located at 4900 East Emory Road, parcel ID 029-05701 in the 7th Commission District.
Thank you. Are you the applicant? If you'd please state your name and county of residence.
There's a little button. There's a little button on that if you push it. There you go.
I'm Matthew Blackman, Knox County.
Thank you, Mr. Blackman. Is there any opposition or anyone wishing to speak on this matter? I'm seeing none. Director Brooks, would you please read the Planning Commission's recommendation?
Yes. Planning Commission recommends that County Commission approve the PR planned residential zone up to 5 dwelling units per acre for the portion of the parcel zoned A agricultural to make it consistent with the rest of the parcel because it is consistent with the sector plan and surrounding area by a vote of 9-0.
Thank you. Mr. Blackman, do you have anything you'd like to say about your project?
Sorry.
You have to speak up just a little bit.
We just wish to have the approval for 5 dwelling units per acre.
All right, all right.
That's it.
Are there any questions about this project? Seeing no lights, Commissioner Lee?
Thank you, Madam Chair. If you could just explain a little bit about what exactly you're wanting to do with this property.
We are wanting to put a duplex on the property, and we own the adjoining property, and so we purchased this parcel to add to it and add a duplex to it.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Frazier?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had a question for Director Brooks. I noticed that the staff recommended denial because it's not consistent with the development in the area of the sector plan. Could you speak to that, please, ma'am?
Certainly. Planning staff recommended denial of the medium-density residential planning district because that there wasn't conditions that warranted amendment to the plan itself, that there wasn't a error or omission, and that the land use classification does allow up to 5 dwelling units per acre.
Commissioner Schoonmaker?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Applicant, can you pull your microphone a little bit forward because I have a question. Okay, you're saying you want to put a duplex on the 2.27 acres?
2 units.
Okay, but you're asking for actually that you could put 11 dwelling units on that property.
This piece of property will be combined with 4904 East Emory Road.
I know, but if the 2.27 acres is approved at 5 dwelling units an acre, what that means is then this body is giving you permission to put 11 dwelling units on that 2.27 acres. And so if you don't need that many units, why don't you request exactly what you need from this body?
We are putting 11 units on it if this is approved.
So it's going to be more than just one duplex.
Yes.
So how many duplexes will it be?
There is currently that have been approved 3 triplexes, and then this parcel with the density would be a duplex. So a total of 11.
There's already 3 on there, I think he's
Okay.
saying.
I'm not following the math here, but. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Commissioner Schoonmaker, did you have some more questions?
We're zoning just this parcel only, which is 2.27 acres. I know, but we're doing this, not the other parcel. So we're saying on this parcel, we want to give him 11, we want to do 11 dwelling units, correct? If we do it the way Knox Planning's recommendation is. At 2.27 times 5 dwelling units is 11. Am I the only one that's looking at this the wrong way? I see some people shaking their heads, yes, I don't know. But if you don't need 11 units for this particular parcel, why are we doing it this way?
Mr. Blackman, you said you're combining it with 4904, is that what you'd said?
Yes, 4904 was approved. We have 9 units on that. This 4900 was owned by Turner Homes. We purchased it and want to combine it with the other parcel.
All right, but the actual zoning you're asking for now is only what is currently shows, which is the 4900 address, which
That's
is the
correct.
2.7 acres.
Yes.
All right,
The 4900 is not 2 acres. It was 0.4, I believe. All combined with the other comes the 2 acres that you're speaking of.
all right, so it's the two plats together then, 4900
Yes.
and 4904.
Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha. It just had a separate address, which sometimes is a little, all right. So the total of both plats will be 2.7 acres, if I'm understanding that correctly?
Yes.
Ms. Brooks, is that correct? There's 2 parcels with 2 different addresses, but yet Planning Commission is only recommending the one address at 4900 East Emory Road?
That's
Would-
correct. It's for parcel ID 029057001. That might be
Okay.
a better way to distinguish
But
it.
he says he's got another parcel it's 4/10 of an acre that he's got approval for 9 dwelling units on. Is that correct?
No.
That's not what he's saying.
I'm not following that.
That's why I can't figure out the math here. That's why this is not making any sense.
Chair.
Sorry,
So,
Commissioner Ward.
that's all right. If you look at the packet, it's a little confusing because there's the bigger box, but from what he's saying, I believe the the property around the smaller property is already zoned at 5 units an acre. He's only coming for the 0.4 acres, that corner unit that's agricultural currently, and he wants to change that to match the others, which is 5 units an acre, so that he can build the 11 in total. So on that 0.4, he's saying he wants to build a duplex. The duplex will be on just that 0.4. The other is already at 5 units an acre if you look at your zoning maps on the packet. So he has all the land basically zoned at 5 units an acre except for this one little 0.4 acres. It's a little confusing because they put a big box around everything instead of a little box, but we're not talking about the 5 units an acre that's already PR that he owns. We're just talking about that little green corner in that box. If you look at the zoning map, which I believe's on, which one is this? It's like the 8 down. That's the best map to see. And then the sector plan map is right attached to it as well. Is that correct, sir?
You're
Okay.
spot on.
Hopefully that clears everything up for everybody. So we're just talking about that 0.4 and he already has 5 units an acre all around it. So he's only going to build that duplex on that .4.
Knox,
Thank you, Commissioner Ward. Commissioner Schoonmaker?
thank you. Knox Planning, do you agree with what's going on? Because,
That's correct. Commissioner Ward described it well. The maps are up on the screen now, so you can see the green on the top. So it's just that green portion that's carved out of that black box there.
but why would your documents say that that small portion is 2.27 acres?
It is that small corner there,
Yeah,
because that's what was requested to be rezoned.
and that's 2.27 acres.
The,
What's the whole track cover?
The plat of record that's been recorded that absorbed that property line of the small piece, the larger piece, the box that you see there that's dark is
Yes.
2.28 acres total, per the plat recorded a month or two ago.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Lee?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So you're just building one duplex?
All in all, there will be 11. Can't hear you. All in all, there will be 11. Right now, we have 9 units that have been approved. We bought the other parcel to combine to give us a total of 11.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Frazier?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to make sure, I agree where Commissioner Schoonmaker is going. We need to make sure that we record it correctly in the record
Agreed.
in case in the future we need to come back to this, that it doesn't state that it's 2.27 acres. Staff has only recommended rezoning for the portion, so we need to identify the portion in our records so that, again, if we have to revisit this at any point, the records are correct.
Thank you. Commissioner Ward?
Staff, let me know if I'm off track here. I think what I'm getting or hearing is that this is all one piece of land, correct, sir, currently? So
Yes.
I get where people are getting confused. He's looking at it as a whole, and a part of his whole is zoned a different zoning. And that happens, there's plenty of, I own a piece of land where the front of my land is zoned X and the back part of my land is zoned Y. And that's the situation that he's coming up. So it's making the whole property whole. So that's why the whole box is boxed out. I think that's where the confusion is coming from. So of this property, 90% of it is already zoned that one. He just is requesting that last piece. So when you ask him, how many are you building? Well, I am building on my acreage, all of it, 11. But if you're talking about this specific little corner that we're talking about the rezoning, there's only 2 that are going to go in that because it's only 0.4 acres. So you can only build 2 at 5 units an acre. So hopefully that kind of clears it up. But I think he's talking apples and we're talking oranges a little bit. That's where people are getting confused because he's looking at this as just one piece, which it is just one piece, but we're just rezoning the one little corner of his one piece to match the rest of his property. Staff, am I accurate on?
that is correct.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Commissioner Beeler?
I'm good now. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. All right, Commissioner Lee?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm making a motion to approve the planned residential zone up to 5 dwelling units per acre for the portion of parcel zoned A to make it consistent with the rest of the parcel because it's consistent with the sector plan and the surrounding area.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor by Lee, a second by Ward. Is there any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Item number 53, 10-C-23-RZ is a request of Miles Morrison for rezoning from PR planned residential from 1 to 3 dwelling units per acre to A agriculture. Property is located at 8255 and 8263 Dove Wing Lane, parcel ID 028-11208, and this is in the 7th Commission District.
Thank you. Are you the applicant?
I am Miles Morrison, 7710 Hoff Lane.
Thank you, Mr. Morrison. Is there any opposition to this request? Seeing none, Commissioner, Director Brooks?
Planning Commission recommends that County Commission approve the A agricultural zone because it's consistent with the sector plan and surrounding development by a vote of 9-0.
All right, kind of a refreshing request. Any comments, questions? Commissioner Lee?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm happy to see this, anything go to agriculture, so if there's not any questions, I'm making a motion to approve the agricultural zone because it's consistent with the sector plan and surrounding development.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor by Lee, a second by Frazier. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Item number 54 is request of A Step Towards Home for rezoning for the portion of parcel zoned I industrial to PR planned residential up to 5 dwelling units per acre, and for the portion of the parcel zoned A agricultural to PR planned residential up to 3.25 dwelling units per acre. Property is located at 7816 Ball Camp Pike, parcel ID 091226 in the 6th Commission District.
Thank you. Is the applicant present? Seeing no one, we'll revisit this at the end of zoning. Next item, please.
Item number 56 is a request of Brian F. Frederick for rezoning from A agricultural to PR planned residential up to 5 dwelling units per acre to RA low density residential. Property is located at 8500 Westland Drive, parcel ID 133038, and that is in the 4th Commission District.
Thank you. Are you the applicant? Your name and county of residence?
I'm Brian Frederick, Knox County.
Thank you, Mr. Frederick. Is there any opposition to this request? Seeing none, Director Brooks?
Planning Commission recommends that County Commission approve the RA low-density residential zone because it's consistent with the sector plan and consistent with the surrounding development by a vote of 9-0.
Thank you. Would you like to speak to your project?
I would not.
All right. Are there any questions from anyone on the commission? Seeing no lights, I'll turn this over to Commissioner Ward.
I like men of little words. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Ward, second by Jay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Your motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Item number 57 is a request of Coreyton A Series LLC of Delta Properties LLC for rezoning from A agricultural to CA general business. Property is located at 7509 East Emory Road, parcel ID 021104, part of, and that is in the 8th Commission District.
Thank you. Are you the applicant?
I'm a representative,
And your name and county of residence?
Thomas Graves from Cherokee, Alabama.
Graves?
Graves.
Thank you, Mr. Graves. Is there any opposition to this project? Seeing none, Director Brooks?
Planning Commission recommends that County Commission approve the CA general business zone because it's consistent with the sector plan and surrounding development, subject to 2 conditions by a vote of 10-0 on consent.
Thank you. Mr. Graves, would you like to speak to your project?
Be happy to answer any questions.
All right. Do we have any questions from anyone on commission? Seeing no one's light but Mr. Beeler, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Graves, are there any plans for this parcel yet?
We have the site plans,
Okay.
and I would assume that those were in your package when we sent in. I'm not sure.
I'm sure no, I don't see a site plan. I've looked at the map. Well, I'll take that back. Let's see. No, I don't see a site plan. Can you speak to any plans you might have for it? I know.
Yeah, it's a 10,000 square foot commercial retail space. It's, we're looking at doing a Dollar Tree.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. If there are no other questions, Madam Chair, I would move that we approve this rezoning per the recommendation of the Planning Commission.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor by Beeler, a second by Daley. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Your motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 59, 10-G-23-SP is a request of Holston Springs LLC for an East County Sector Plan amendment from LDR Low Density Residential and HP Hillside Protection to RR Rural Residential and HP Hillside Protection. Property is located at 733 McHubbins Road and 1144 Wooddale Church Road, parcel ID 073203, part of, in the 8th Commission District.
Thank you. Are you the applicant?
Yes, Bobby Bramhall, Holston Springs LLC, Knox County,
And your last name again?
Bramhall.
Thank you, sir. Is there any opposition to this project? Seeing none out there, Director Brooks?
Planning Commission recommends that County Commission approve the sector plan amendment to RR Rural Residential because it's consistent with the development in the area by a vote of 9-0. The HP land use classification would remain intact.
Mr. Bramhall, would you like to speak to your project?
Not unless there's any questions.
All right. Are there any questions? Seeing no lights, I'll turn it over to Commissioner Beeler.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, sir, can you kind of explain for the reason for this? Well, I know we can talk about this on the next item, but it's all one thing. So why the change to OS?
Yes, so I took recommendation from the planning staff here, and I thought it was lodging when we have glamping, and I thought it was lodging when Knox County, and they said this is possibly a campground. And so we went ahead and changed it to what an open space could hold, which is a campground. So they said that that would be allowable in the zone. So I'm just following the planning staff recommendation.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve this sector plan amendment per the recommendation of the Planning Commission because it's consistent with development in the area.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor by Beeler, second by Daley. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Hold on.
Item number 60, 10-L-23-RZ is a request of Holston Springs LLC for rezoning from A agricultural to OS open space. Property is located at 733 McHubbins Road and 1144 Wooddale Church Road, parcel ID 073203, part of, in the 8th Commission District.
Thank you. Mr. Bramhall, your name and residence again?
Bobby Bramhall, Holston Springs LLC, Knox County.
Thank you. Director Brooks, you have a recommendation?
Planning Commission recommends that County Commission approve the OS open space zone for the portion of the subject property illustrated in the zoning boundary map and the application subject to one condition by a vote of 9-0.
All right. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I'll turn this over to Commissioner Beeler.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Motion to approve this rezoning to open space for the portion of the subject property illustrated in the zoning boundary map in the application, subject to the one condition proposed by the Planning Commission recommendation.
Do I have? Thank you. We have a motion by Commissioner Beeler, a second by Frazier. Are there any questions?
I have one. On the fence that I'm supposed to erect, is there a timeline that I need to get that up by?
That would be a question for our director.
The condition says install a fence along the western property line within 60 days of the development plan approval.
Thank you.
Seeing no others, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck with your project.
Thank you.
Item number 61, 9-F-23-RZ is a request of Randall J. Sparks for rezoning from A agricultural to TO technology overlay and PR planned residential up to 3.5 dwelling units per acre and TO technology overlay. Property is located at 3303 George Light Road, parcel ID 089-16501 in the 6th Commission District.
Thank you. Are you the applicant?
Yes.
Your name and county of residence?
Randall Jason Sparks, Knox County.
Thank you. Is there any opposition to this project? Seeing none out there, Director Brooks?
Planning Commission recommends that County Commission approve the RA Low Density Zone because it's consistent with the sector plan and consistent with the surrounding development. By a vote of 14-0, the TO technology overlay will be retained.
Thank you. Mr. Sparks, would you like to speak to this project?
If there's any questions.
Okay. I have a question.
Sure.
Well, I noticed that there is a house already on that property.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that house going to remain, or what is your plan for the rest of the?
Yes, ma'am. So that house will remain, and what we'll do is we'll split the plan is to split it in half, and so each house will have a half acre.
All right. Very good. All right, are there any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'd like to make a motion to approve this RA zoning because it's consistent with the sector plan and consistent with surrounding development.
Second.
A motion on the floor by Hill, second by Oster. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item number 62, zoning appeal 9-B-23-SP is an appeal by Edelmary Martinez of the Knox County Planning Commission's denial of a request for a South County Sector Plan amendment from AG Agricultural to RR Rural Residential. Property is located at 507 Brown Mountain Loop Road, parcel ID 124PA005 in the 9th Commission District.
Thank you, sir. And I see that you are here on an appeal. Is there anyone else that would like to speak to this project? Seeing none, Director Brooks?
Planning Commission's action was to deny the sector plan amendment to RR Rural Residential because it does not meet the criteria for a sector plan amendment by a vote of 14-0.
All right. Mr. Martinez, would you like to speak to this project?
Yes, please. My name is Andrew Henley. I'm speaking on behalf of the applicant.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was your name again?
Andrew Henley?
Henley?
Henley, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Should I go ahead and start?
Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Andrew Henley. I'll be speaking on behalf of Edelmary Martinez. Please let me start by saying this is my second time speaking on this. The first time I got a little bit ahead of myself and I started the process a bit prematurely, which is why I've appealed. But now I have spent some time speaking with Commissioner Daley, and I think we're prepared to move forward. Our plan, our hope, is to gain committee approval to run a KUB sewer line to the property and rezone it in such a way that it will allow us to create 2 buildable lots on that property. The project will be funded by us. We believe this will bring the property more in line with other lots in the neighborhood with respect to their size and usage. As far as KUB goes, we've been in contact with a gentleman named Jeff. He's a project planning representative who determined that the cost will be approximately $42,000, which we are happy to pay. The sewer line will need to be run either 140 feet from one direction or 160 feet from the other, depending on where we come from.
All right. Are there any questions about this project? Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Snowden, with running a sewer line to that property, will that impact other property owners that are adjacent to this property?
No, sir, I don't believe it will.
I was asking this gentleman over here the question.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
You know, I haven't seen the plans that this gentleman's proposing, but I mean, it looks like that there's a decent right-of-way along Brown Mountain Loop, so I wouldn't imagine it to be too impactful to some of the surrounding folks.
But if like 513 Brown Mountain Loop Road is on a septic and the sewer runs in front of them, are they not going to be required to either hook up or pay a monthly fee to KUB because the sewer line now runs in front of their house? And is that a potential hardship for that property owner?
That is my understanding. If there is sewer available, the adjacent landowners either have to adjoin the sewer or pay the reservation fee, yes.
Okay, do we know where the sewer ends on this?
I can, if you give me a second, I can look. We should have access to KUB maps.
Okay. Could I ask the applicant if he knows where the sewer ends and would start?
Not specifically, sir. I only know the distances from the place that they need to run it from, which is where we got the quote.
Are they coming from Brown Mountain Loop Road? Are they coming from Compton Lane?
They're coming from Brown Mountain Loop Road in either case. It wouldn't come from Compton Lane.
Do you understand my question about the financial hardship on an adjoining property if a sewer goes in
Yes, sir.
front of them to
Yes, sir.
to help you?
I suppose I could, sorry.
Go ahead, please.
There is no way to put septic on this property. We ran that down first.
I know, but is 513 on a septic?
I don't know exactly. We haven't spoken to the property owners of that, no. But of course, we did have the signs posted, but that's all.
Did I understand your plan was to put 2 dwellings on this property?
Yes, ma'am. What we'd like to do, because the other properties that are also on the street are about half an acre, and this lot, as it stands, is 1.08 acres, we were hoping to just divide it straight in 2 to kind of match the profile of the rest of the neighborhood.
And essentially, it's worthless for building because you cannot put septic on it. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Commissioner Beeler? I'm sorry, Commissioner Daley.
It wouldn't hurt.
You haven't changed that much.
The property wouldn't hurt. Drew, go back to a couple pages if you would. I think 11, if you would for me. Maybe no, I'll go the other way. We'll get there. Keep going, keep going. I got to get there before I can try to explain it. Right there. All right. This is a better map of Brown Loop Road. Your question is, the sewer is 142 foot away. The lot next door is 120 feet, so we add another 20 feet. Only lot would be affected would be the next door lot, or maybe the one across the street. The other way is up there, I think it's 162 feet from the other place up there, so it's wiser to run it along this lot. Brown Mountain Loop has been there for a long time, and it was all built on septic. You got 1, 2 lots that are larger so they could perk. You look at all the other lots there, they're half-acre lots. So it's not out of the character of the neighborhood for it to go to 2, right? It would be out of the character for the developer to get 2 per acre, then turn around and subdivide it and have 1 house on each other. It will be the same across the street. It will be, and who knows, the person there across the street may have a family member, they can subdivide it. It's in the growth area. Our sector plan is 11 years old. The South Knox County sector plan has not been updated since 2020. So you can't tell me that that's a good sector plan, because it's not. Things have changed in 11 years. So my suggestion is, and I was out there and we discussed it, and he got the cart before the horse. He should have, if they would have came to me, I would say, hey, you're going to have to get sewer, because without the sewer, we can't change the sector plan. because that's one of the things that could happen. So they know that they got the cart before the horse. They're invested, and I would like to see that lot developed myself into 2 lots, 1,000 square foot homes, thereabouts, correct? 2,000 square foot homes, which is good family style home. That's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home, or mostly. I talked to the law director. This is what I'd like to do. My 7 years, I don't think we've ever done this. So what I would like to do is make a motion, just talking right now, make a motion to approve a sector plan change and a rezoning change to 2 per acre upon proof that they have ran sewer to that property from KUB. So if something was to happen and they don't run sewer there, this property will never be rezoned. So I asked the law director, and he said we could do that.
It's a conditional zone.
Yeah. And he asked me, well, why don't we postpone it for 90 days or whatever? None of us would spend $42,000 of our own money to come back before this commission and try to get 6 votes. I wouldn't do it. I don't think anybody sitting here would do it. So I'm asking you to help this couple out. They're going to build a 1,000 square foot home, which is a nice home. It will meet the character of the neighborhood. I've been there, no doubt. It's a wooded area. And you're going to try to save as many trees as possible, right? So I will wait till hear those, but that will be the motion I'll be making, so.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Daly. Commissioner Beeler?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I mean, it definitely makes sense to me, looking at the lot and the other lots beside it. I mean, to me, it's kind of like straining out a gnat and swallowing a camel not to change the sector plan to be able to build 2 houses there. I do want to know about the sewer, though, to Commissioner Schoonmaker's point. Which direction, Commissioner Daly, would the sewer be coming from, left, right, or up?
I will think it would, me personally, the shortest route is the right, coming down Brown Mountain Loop Road.
So you're saying sewer is within 142 feet of that lot? So several of those homes are on sewer?
Yes. The only one that.
They're not on it? It just comes down through there?
I couldn't say that with certainty one way or the other.
Okay, do you know, Commissioner?
I don't know, but can I answer one question?
Yeah, sure.
Just because a sewer line is running in front of your property, it's up to Knox Chapman, KUB, whoever to charge you. They don't necessarily have to charge you. It's up to them.
I'll yield to Commissioner Ward.
I'll try to explain real quick. So the easiest way, and staff, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you look at existing land use, you can't upzone unless you have sewer, correct, in this section?
Yes, in the rural area, that's correct.
So if you look at the land use map, anything that's been upzoned has to be on sewer. So deductive reasoning would say sewer is up to next door. And as Commissioner Daly was saying, the lots are 100 and something feet wide. So it's literally, the pipe is a house away. It's probably sitting at the corner of the next lot down the street. But the lot next door has already been upzoned. So that's telling me that the lot next to it, to the right, number 29 on this map, already has sewer because they've already been upzoned. They couldn't be upzoned unless they had sewer. So I don't think it would affect neighbors because to be in that zone already, they would have to have sewer. So deductive reasoning tells me this. Therefore, I don't think any neighbors would be burdened further.
Forgive me. So your statement is you think the next door neighbor has?
By deductive reasoning, they have to because their property has already been upzoned from agriculture to whatever it is, SFR. So in order for them to achieve that, they would have to have sewer connection.
Director Snowden, do you have that information?
And obviously, this, I'm looking at KUB's maps. Now, they may be, obviously, they share these maps with us, so I can't attest to them being 100% accurate, but they usually are fairly accurate. The last house on Brown Mountain Loop that has sewer access is 416. So that is, I'm sorry, somebody may need to get the pointer up there. It's the lot that actually, where the city limits are, it kind of wraps around it. We'll need to go up, I'm sorry. Yeah. Right there where you see the city boundary is, it looks like the house that fronts on Mount David Drive, but their address is on Brown Mountain Loop, is where the sewer stops. So the gentleman would have to extend it to the south across those two lots, 416 and 426, if that helps. But the sewer the sewer terminates there at that last house at the corner of Mount David and Brown Mountain Loop based on the GIS maps that KUB has provided us.
42,000.
Sir, has KUB come out and
No, he has.
physically looked?
We weren't present for that, but it's my understanding that they sent a representative out who did the estimate.
Oh, all right. Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, I would not be in favor of rezoning a piece of property that Knox Planning unanimously said to deny what they want to do. But I feel very uncomfortable about forcing residents in that neighborhood to potentially incur financial obligations that when they purchased their home, that wasn't part of the deal. And now just because somebody's wants to go to the end of the street and develop it, I just don't think these folks should be penalized for that. And it looks like on KGIS, the 513 home, it potentially could have been there since 1996. It's kind of hard to tell, but I don't think the sewer was there in 1996. So I would be against this just because I don't think this body should put a financial obligation on the next door neighbors on a monthly basis if in fact they would have to at some point, whether it's tomorrow or 2 years from now, to be part of the sewer connection fee and monthly assessment from whatever utility district.
Commissioner Daly?
Thank you. Mr. Snowden, KUB said they can come from two different directions. One is 160 feet and one is 142 feet. So that means they've got to be sewer on Brown Mountain Loop Road.
Yeah, and like I said, Commissioner, these maps may be wrong. What we're seeing is it terminates there near on the map that they shared with us, Mount David, and then on the, I guess that would be the east side, it goes up just past Define Lane. So what I'm seeing doesn't correlate to those numbers, but however, I mean, obviously their representatives know more than I do, but there may be that their maps haven't been updated.
It's possible. Again, just because sewer is in front of your property does not necessarily mean KUB, Knox Chapman, West Knox, whoever is going to charge. I guarantee you, if this land out there didn't perk, if that didn't perk, the other ones barely perked, okay? I guarantee you, if I'm living in lot 28, 50, 27, all those, I'd be happy to see sewer come through there. Because I know my septic is going to fail after 40 or 50 years. And when it fails, codes, when it fails, there ain't nothing you can do, is it? Just go to the sewer is all you can do. So I would be happy to have sewer there. I believe I believe what KUB says. I know it's expensive, $42,000 or $46,000 coming from the other direction is a lot of money. It's a lot of money to me. I'm going to make the motion, okay? I'm going to ask my fellow commissioners to trust me. It will be a viable motion, and you will not be able to do anything with that property until that sewer is there. KUB has the letter. Go back to Amy, Director Brooks, is that correct? After he gets the letter?
One more time.
After the sewer is ran to the property, he can come to you and have it rezoned at that time.
No. Once you all rezone it, it is rezoned until, well, I'm going to defer to Law Director Moyers here.
He's asking for that here.
It's a conditional zone. So if the condition is not met, and until the condition is met, the property remains at its current zoning. Once the condition is met, then the rezoning becomes effective. That's when you can change the map.
And that would be when he goes for a building permit or whatever.
Right, when he shows evidence that
When they go
the
for it.
condition has been met.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. This is my motion for the first one. Mr. Law Director, on a appeal, is it yes or no, or can I add this to? This is an appeal.
This is a little pet peeve of mine. It shouldn't be an appeal, but it doesn't matter. For the purposes of what you're trying to do, just a motion to amend the sector plan as your first, a motion to grant the rezoning as the second, both conditioned on the applicant getting sewerage to the property as he's requested.
Okay, this will be my motion then. This is on the sector plan only. Motion to approve the sector plan to RR upon proof from KUB that sewer is available at the property.
Second.
Sector plan only.
All right, we have a motion on the floor from Commissioner Daley. The second was
Ward.
Commissioner Jay. Is there any
Jay.
more discussion on this?
We're both very good-looking men. It's hard to get us, easy as confused.
Seeing no more discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Oh, I apologize.
Take that knife out of my bag.
We have one no. Is that correct? Vote is 10-1 on that one. All right, thank you. Next item, please.
Item number 63, 9-L-23-RZ is the appeal by Edelmary Martinez of the Knoxville, Knox County Planning Commission's denial of a request for rezoning from A agricultural to PR planned residential up to 2 dwelling units per acre. Property is located at 507 Round Mountain Loop Road, parcel ID 124 PA005 in the 9th Commission District.
Thank you. Mr. Henley, your name and county of residence again?
Andrew Henley, Knox County.
Thank you. Is there any opposition? Seeing none, Director Brooks, would you read your recommendation?
Planning Commission recommended to deny the PR Plan Residential Zone because it is not consistent with the South County Sector Plan, and it would allow development that may be out of character of the surrounding area by a vote of 14-0.
Thank you. And do you have anything else you'd like to add? All right. No, hold on. We still need to vote. Seeing no other lights, Commissioner Daley.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve South County Plan, hold on a second. I'd like to approve up to 2 dwelling units per acre from agricultural to PR upon proof from KUB that the sewer is available at the property.
Second.
All right, we have an appropriate motion on the floor by Daley, a second by Ward. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion, I'm sorry, the vote will be 10-1. Your motion carries, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good luck to you. Do you understand what needs to happen?
I
All
believe
right.
so, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. Is there any other business to bring before this body? Yes, sir.
You need to call for that one that wasn't here
Thank you.
one more time, just to make it legal.
Madam Clerk, if you would reread 54, please.
Item number 54, 10-E-23-RZ, request of a step towards home for rezoning for the portion of the parcel zoned I industrial to PR planned residential up to 5 dwelling units per acre, and for the portion of the parcel zoned A agricultural to PR planned residential up to 3.25 dwelling units per acre. Property is located at 7816 Ball Camp Pike, parcel ID 091226 in the 6th Commission District.
Is there anyone here to address that? Seeing no one, it will be moved forward to next month. If the proper notifications would be sent, please. All right, is there any other business to come before this body? Yes, sir, Commissioner Daly.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Director Brooks,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to put you on the hot seat. Here we keep seeing every month 9-0, 14, 12, 10. Are these planning commissioners not taking their job serious? That, BZA had to come up with a policy of, you missed 2, we're going to find somebody else. So why are these, there's 15, correct?
Correct.
And we only had 9 show up?
At
These
that-
are the
Ms.
mayor,
Yes,
this
that-
is probably a mayor's questions.
Yes, I believe that it would be. I think at this particular, it's fairly unusual for us only to have had 9 commissioners. There were a couple of them that were out of town. I'd have to go back and look and see, which ones were excused. So they will let us know in advance and which ones were not.
Does yours rules go by majority present or majority of the 15? Do you know?
Majority of the 15.
Majority of the 15, so
We barely had a quorum.
it could have been disaster that day.
Yes.
So I'll talk with Mayor Jacobs. Thank you.
Thank you
That could have been a disaster.
for your laughing pleasure on your way home before the meeting is adjourned. Drew, if you'd put up my little goodie up there. Seeing no objection, though, we are adjourning this meeting.